Let's start a new world today. Life is giving us a treat. Whatever you will throw in me, I'll land on my 2 feet. I'm hanging around downtown, trying to be a part of whatever comes around. I'm looking for something that I can desire. I'm looking for someone to light up my fire. I love the way that you move when you dance to the music. The way your feet seem to float above the floor. How your eyes start to glow when I get close to you, baby. Come on and shake it like you did before. Just a silhouette and flashing light, moving like a cat on the floor, shining like a falling star. You're bringing me down for sure. Your shaded smile shows who you are, 'cause you've heard everything before. I'm looking for something that I can desire. I'm looking for someone to light up my fire. I love the way that you move when you dance to the music. The way your feet seem to float above the floor. How your eyes start to glow when I get close to you, baby. Come on and shake it like you did before. The way that you move when you dance to the music. The way your feet seem to float above the floor. How your eyes start to glow when I get close to you, baby. Come on and shake it like you did before. Shake it like you did before. Last night was the best night. Won't you shake it for me? Shake it like you did before. Let's start a new world today. Life is giving us a treat. Whatever you will throw in me, I'll land on my 2 feet. I'm hanging around downtown, trying to be a part of whatever comes around. I'm looking for something that I can desire. I'm looking for someone to light up my fire. I love the way that you move when you dance to the music. The way your feet seem to float above the floor. How your eyes start to glow when I get close to you, baby. Come on and shake it like you did before. Just a silhouette and flashing light, moving like a cat on the floor, shining like a falling star.
MF word. Mobility and flexibility. It's actually 2 words, but that's what you want, isn't it? That's what we all want. We all feel better when we're more mobile and more flexible. It's a new week, it's a new day, and maybe it's your first time doing yoga. Don't sweat it, have fun. No stress. This is your no stress zone, I promise. Let's ease into our week. Hi, I'm Jan. This is Piper. That's Bonnie, and this is 316 Yoga. This is where you're doing your yoga from home. It's a 1-hour-long practice every day, live, start to finish, no cuts, no breaks. It's just kind of fun. Let it evolve how it evolves. Do what you can with what you got. Don't hurt yourself. That's the biggest thing. The bottom of the screen says, do what is right for your body. Your body. Your body's different and unique. You can do things I can't do, and everybody else can do things that you can't do too. So it's just, you do what is right for you. You are unique and special. Don't hurt the body that you have. Focus on what you can do and dismiss the rest. Find it. Own it. That's the word to think about today. Own it. Own it. It means make it uniquely yours. Make it uniquely yours. Do what feels good for you. Own it. It is yours. Find the sweet spot, but just keep on moving. That's the big deal. Props for today. Our usual props, 2 yoga blocks. Buy them if you're going to stick with us, and do stick with us. You'll feel so much better. 2 yoga blocks. Buy them online. Buy them at the store. Not very expensive. They're going to be your favorite prop. A little strap or a belt to your robe. That'll work too. Little hand towel. You can improvise with lots of different ways to use it. And a little eye shade that a friend could make for you if they love you. Or you could have just your little towel to cover your eyes. It's a great way to end in your final shavasana pose. You could also have a chair. No big deal. Be near a wall. Make it work for you. That's the big thing. No right or wrong. The only wrong is if it hurts. Let's lock in a stress number and come on up to standing as we do our own little warm-up. Come on up. All right, stress number. We do it every time. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, where are you? What's going on? I forgot to mention, have some water too. All right, so stress number, where are you? What hurts? What's aching? I got a bit of a cold, so I got just a little achy. But you know what? I'm going to move because it'll make me feel better. Get things flowing. That's always good. Stress number, got it locked in. Hands on your hips, feet about hip-width distance apart or a little bit wider. Kind of just nestle into your feet. Find your feet, find your foundation. Strike a pose of confidence. Let your elbows come back. Let your chest lift up to the sky. Put a smile on your face. And breathe. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sighing breath. Make it audible. Nobody's around to hear it. Make it audible. Let it go. Sigh it out. Let the stress go. Big breath in. Big breath out. Nice job. Now let's come up onto the balls of our feet. Come on up and down. Lift and lower. Strengthen your foundation. All right, as you lift, come as high as is right for you. Maybe a chair is right here by your side. No problem. I mean, it's not a sign of weakness. Using a prop is a sign that you're smart and you know how to make things work for you. So coming up onto the balls of the feet, keeping your balance with the chair or not, lift on up, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe hold it for a second or two. And try to keep your heels right behind the balls of your feet. Pay attention to your heels. Are they splaying out to the sides? You don't want to do that. Or are they collapsing in? You want to keep nice, strong, stable foundation rocking. All right, up onto the toes. Down on the heels, lift and lower, and occasionally come down onto the heels and lift the toes up off of the mat and give them a wiggle. So just move here, strengthening the calves. Ooh, I feel it already. And getting your foundation nice and strong. Breathe. Lift out of the chest a little bit higher. And then come to settle on the feet. Oh, my calves need a break. Lift the toes up, give them a wiggle, let it be. Plant your feet solidly on your mat. I'm going to bring my feet in a little bit closer so they're right underneath my hips. Lifting the arms high up to the sky, take your extended mountain pose. Reach through your fingers, lift through your chest, breathe. Big breath in. Big soft shoulders, breath out. Now circle your arms. Circle them on back and put a bend in your knees as the arms come down. And as the knees straighten, hands come up, arms come up. You make your circles as big as is comfortable for you. Maybe the shoulders aren't feeling it today, so make them a little bit smaller. Knees, don't forget to bend them. Maybe you can take it a little farther. Arm circles in the other direction as well. Hello to Lynn, Esther, Betty, Stan, Barbara, Kelly, Rena, Tim, Elizabeth, Felicia, Glenn, Margaret, Steve, Kelly, and to Christopher. All right, how you doing? All right, shoulders feeling pretty good. Blood starting to flow. Let's finish up. Come on up to standing. Send your arms high on up to the sky again. Interlace your fingers, send your palms up to the sky. Start to sway from side to side like a palm tree. Keep your feet planted into your mat. We're going to do a half crescent moon pose later too, so kind of similar to this. Feel the goodness up the side of your body. Big stretch, right? Reach through your palms. Maybe the elbows are straight, maybe there's a bend in them. It's okay. Sway from side to side. Breathe. Finish up. Come on back up. Palms high to the sky. Release your hands down to your low back. Either have your fingers going down as you hold on to your low back or fingers pointing up. Try that for a change. Ooh, what a difference that is. Squeeze your elbows towards your spine. Lift through the chest. Don't you feel better already? Moving just feels better. So why is it so hard to do? Why is it so hard to get off the couch and move? Look up toward the sky. Press your hips more forward. Look up, 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 right above you. Breathe. Exhale. Slowly hinge forward. Hinge forward. Let your hands release toward the earth. Toe heel your feet a little bit apart so you feel like you got some space in your hips. Let your belly be between your legs and hang forward. Crown of the head toward the earth, arms toward the earth. Breathe. Move your knees a little bit. Find some movement here. No need to stress out. Let your head hang heavy. Shake your neck a little bit. Breathe. Big breath in and big breath out. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Put a little bend in your knees. Think of your tailbone going up to the sky. Breathe. When you're ready, arms wide to the side. Come on back up to standing. Lengthen up here. Lengthen up. Big breath in. Big breath out. When you're ready, arms come down by your sides. Big coat swing. So start with softening in your shoulders. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Start to turn from side to side. Your feet are planted, and you're getting a nice twist in your hips and your arms. Let them be super heavy. Super heavy, just kind of hanging by your side as you twist and look over one shoulder, then the other. I think this is a really important posture. It's a controlled twist, really important pose. It's a controlled twist, good for your back, for your head too. Look at how much you can twist your body. Turn your neck a little bit more, look over your shoulder. Slow it on down. Come back to the midline of your body. One last little pose. It's called a Ragdoll pose. Big breath in. Big breath out. Maybe hands to prayer center, just because it feels really good and grounding, knowing right now in this moment you are in control. You're in control of every movement you make, and your body is responding to what you're telling it to do. Take a big breath in. Find peace here. And a big breath out. When you're ready, hinge forward at the hips. Let your arms come down toward the earth. A little bend in your knees probably feels good because we're just starting out. Tailbone up toward the sky, crown of the head toward the earth. Bend your elbows and bring your hands to opposite elbow creases. Big breath in, big breath out. Now start to sway from side to side. Bring one elbow back toward the knee. Then come back to the midline and bring the other elbow back toward the other knee. So you're swaying here in a ragdoll pose. Really let the neck and the head hang heavy. Bend in the knees if that feels good. Decompress your low back. Your feet, maybe work them a little further apart, hip width distance or a little bit wider. See how that feels. It's like you're giving yourself space in your hips. And then sway from side to side. You know what feels best for you. What a great pose to do. We all sit way too much. Do your ragdoll pose a couple of times in the course of your day. When you find yourself sitting way too long, stand up and do your ragdoll pose. Your low back will thank you. Finish up at the midline of your body. Keep your hands where they are. Send your gaze to your knees or try to look up towards your belly button. Big breath in, big belly, hollowing breath out. Breathe here. Then release your fingers to the earth, bend your knees, and come on down to your mat. Bend your knees. That's a feat in and of itself, right? All right, child's pose. You can use a block or no block at all. Lots of variations for it. Knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back towards your heels. The block, you can bring your forehead down to it. You can bring your chest down to it. Whatever works for you. Use the block to bring the ground up to you. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. And you know there are options here. Let's do a variation if you like, or maybe stay right where you are. Variation, knees spread wide, big toes touch, block up to the top of the mat, hips back to the heels. I'm going to put my hands on the block and sink my forehead down to the mat. And if you don't like that, put the block underneath your forehead. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Big breath in. Big sighing breath out. Think of the tailbone going to the back of the room. Think of the crown of your head going to the front of the room. If you got the block, push it farther to the top of the mat. Feel the good stretch in your shoulders. This is your child's pose. Come back to it anytime you like. If you want, you can close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only to allow you to build heat in your body and to focus inward. Nothing wrong with focusing inward. Big breath in and big breath out. Child's pose, stretch it out, lengthen through the spine. Nice stretch in the quadriceps, nice stretch in the ankles. Breathe. Soften, let it go. Stay here longer if you like. I'm going to go on and do toes pose. So if you want to skip toes pose, stay in your child's pose. To do your toes pose, come on up to standing on your knees. Take your block, tuck your toes under towards your shins, and place the block behind your heels. Have a seat on the block, and let it be. All right, foundation, we talked about it. We started with the foundation, coming up onto the toes and stretching out the feet. This is doing the same thing. Don't you feel it in the fascia, in the feet? Nice big stretch in your foundation. Here's the deal. If it hurts, it's not for you. Back out of it. Take it to a lesser extent. Take it to 10%. That's still better than doing nothing at all, right? So do what is right for you, but listen to your body. If it's just uncomfortable, and it's uncomfortable, if it's just uncomfortable, breathe through it. You got it. Maybe put more weight back into the heels, shoulders over the hips, perhaps. Let's do something with the arms. It'll get our mind off of our feet. Interlace your fingers. Have one hand on top and start to do figure 8 with your hands. Squeeze the fingers together. Circle the wrists. Nice big circles in the wrists. Breathe. Finish up. Let's take our hands as if you're serving a tray to someone. Palms face up. Reach forward. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's take the fingers on one hand and pull them and stretch them on back toward the elbow. So you might feel a nice stretch in the front of your forearm here. Pull all 4 fingers back. Breathe. Let's take the fingers individually. Let's take the pinky finger and pull it back as far as is right. Pull it on back. Then take the ring finger, pull it on back. How does that feel? Then the tall man, right? Remember that in school? Take tall man, bend him back, bend him back, bend him back. And the index finger, pull it on back. How does that feel? And don't forget the thumb. This is my least favorite. Pull the thumb on back. I think it's because I text too much. Don't we all text too much? Pull the thumb on back and let that be. Let's take the other hand. It's reaching forward, palm face up, bend the pinky on back. Big breath in, big breath out. Don't forget the big breaths. And pull each finger back as long and as far as you want to take it. Mobility in the hands. Let it feel good. Don't forget the thumb. Pull it on back. Did we pull all all 4 fingers back at once. Let's do that. Pull all 4 fingers back. That feels really good. I hope you do it so it feels good for you. Remember, find your sweet spot. Everybody's is different. All right, let's interlace the fingers again. Figure 8 one more time. How does that feel? And you know what? I bet your mind is off of your feet. How do your arms feel? Pretty good, huh? All right, release your fingers, wiggle them, let them go, let them be. Let's come out of the toes pose. Hinge forward, hands on the mat. Remove the block. You're in a neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Get the cramps out. Circle the feet in one direction, then the other. Tap the toes out on the top of the mat. Place the tops of your feet onto the mat. Find your 2 blocks. Let's go into an ankle pose. Sit back on your heels, using the blocks to bring the ground up to you. Press on into the blocks and let your knees come up off of the mat. So you're getting a nice ankle stretch here. You know, moving everything to its full range of motion, what you're meant to do, right? How you're meant to be. Press harder into the blocks. Maybe lift the knees a little higher so you're really on the tops of your feet. If you don't want to use the blocks, that's fine. Remove them and try to balance here. Maybe hands back to prayer center as you focus inward. Let it be. How are your ankles feeling? It's important to get that range of motion going, especially as we come into the colder months and get ice on the ground, and you know, it's easy to slip and fall. Strengthening the feet and the ankles, having that mobility in there, maybe you'll catch yourself on the ice and you prevent a fall. Real important. All right, let's finish. Come out of your ankle pose. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Time for cat-cow. Knees under your hips. Wrists under your shoulders. Hands spread wide. Tailbone reaching to the back of the room. Crown of the head to the front. Push hard into the earth. Push so hard into the earth you feel like you're almost going to levitate. You're strong. You're strong. Stack the muscles. Stack the bones for strength and stability. Shoulder over wrists. Knees under hips. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Push the hands into the mat. You got it. You're working your core. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Lengthen through your tailbone. Let's do cat-cow. As you exhale the air out of your lungs, chin to your chest, tailbone, tuck it under. Oh, that feels nice. Tuck it under. Don't forget to push hard into your feet. Arch your back up to the sky. It's the month of the Halloween cat, so think of being a Halloween cat. Inhale, cow, tailbone, crown of the head, lift. Oh, let it lift. Push hard into the earth. Do a couple cat-cows to your pace of breath. Woo. Let the spine feel it. This is a workout. Push into the earth. Don't forget. Tuck for cat. Extend for cow. And then finish. Neutral tabletop. How was that? All right, let's lift our right leg up. Lift your right knee to about hip height. Circle your ankle in one direction. Maybe you've worked all the little kinks out of the ankle with that toes pose and ankle pose. Circle the ankle in the opposite direction. Then extend the leg long. Reach the heel really far to the back of the room. Dial your right hip down. Press hard into the earth. Hips are equal distance to the mat. Stay right here. Leg is lifted. Low back is strengthening. Let's challenge our balance with bird dog. So, push hard into the right hand. Lift the left arm up. Reach. Fingers spread wide. Thumb up to the sky. Reach, stretch, lengthen. You got it. Strong spine you have. Reach. If you like, tuck your knee under your belly button. Tuck your elbow under and have the elbow and knee touch. And then reach. Elbow to knee, touch, and reach. And then finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Even out. Whoo! Nice neutral tabletop. Let's do the other side. Lift your left knee up, up, up. Knee to about hip height. Circle the ankle in one direction. Dial that left hip down a little bit. Your hips are equal distant to the mat. Circle the ankle in the other direction. Drive the left leg long and drive through the heel. Draw your toes towards your shin. Heel is really pulling toward the back of the room. You can stay right here. Feel the strengthening in the low back, or add in some balance challenge. Right arm reaches long. Reach. reach. Find length here. Find length through the heel, find length through the right fingers, reach. If you like, tuck the elbow and knee, have them touch under your navel, and then reach. Stretch, push into the earth, strong. Maybe 1 or 2 more times, elbow to knee. Reach, find your balance. Hand comes down, knee comes down. You did it. All right, cat-cow. Let's even everything out. Chin to chest, tailbone under. Inhale, cow. Nice job. All right, next pose. How do you feel? Aren't you feeling refreshed already? Such a little bit of movement, full range of motion, really makes you feel better for the rest of your day. All right, so let's do plank. Plank, important for your strength, important for your core strength. You can do it. You can do it. Lots of ways to do it. I'm going to set a 1-minute timer. You time yourself if you want to. Time yourself and think, hey, last week I did 20 seconds. Today I did 25. Good on me. It's up to you. Lots of ways to do it. Here we go. For example, if you want to take it kind of gentle, kind of easy, neutral tabletop, send your knees back, hands a little more forward, and then hinge your weight forward. You'll feel the shift into the weight into the arms. And you can stay right here. Another option, if that doesn't feel good on your wrists, you could slip your arms down to your forearms. Elbows underneath your shoulders, hands spread wide, and you can shift the weight forward and stay right here. Another option would be to send your legs long and stay right here in your dolphin plank. I'm going to take a high plank with the arms straight and the legs straight. Remember, it's important to stack. Be nice and even and nice, strong structure and alignment. Let's begin our timer now. Legs long, hands, fingers spread wide, feet at about hip width distance. Hold here. You're over 5 seconds in. If you want to do 5 seconds and take a break, good on you. Remember, you do it your way. Own it. It's uniquely yours. You're already 15 seconds in. Hold and be strong. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Lengthen through your heels. Think of energy shooting through your heels. We're over halfway there, y'all. We're 30 seconds in. Maybe 30 seconds is your number today. Take a break if you need it. A break for your high plank would be to send your hips high into a down dog or to drop to your knees. You decide. We've got less than 15 seconds to go. It means you've done 45. Stay with it. Come on now. Push into the earth. You're strong. This is strengthening everything you got. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. You did a 1-minute plank. Come on down to your knees, grab a drink if you want to, and just be glad for what you did. However long you did it, it's longer than not doing it at all. Good on you. Stick with it. Every day, it'll get easier. It really will. Well, I won't say it'll get easier. I'll say you get stronger, and you can accomplish it. Drink time, all right? Okay, let's do some core stuff on our back. Our usual little core series. Come on down on your bottom. Bend your knees and have the soles of your feet touch. Open up your knees wide to the side of the room. Have your strap nearby, up near your shoulders. We'll use that for boat today. So, soles of the feet touch, knees open wide. Your legs look like a butterfly or an open book. Hands like your feet in prayer. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and come on back to fully recline. Try to take it all at the same time. Try to avoid the clunk at the end. Hold on to your strong core. Come all the way down. Maybe hike the heels up closer to your groin. Fingers to your temples. Elbows opened wide like your knees. And little teeny lifts and lowers with your chin. Chin lifts up to the sky and lower. We say do it with the chin because it'll keep your neck nice and straight. Don't crunch your neck. Keep the chin lifting up to the sky. Elbows and knees open wide. Little lifts, little lowers. Let's finish here. Elbows come down, knees and elbows open wide. Breathe. Let's do bicycle pose. Lots of ways you can do this. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet onto the mat so your knees are in line with your hips. You can keep them right here. Peel your shoulders up and bring one elbow toward one knee, then the other elbow toward the other knee. Little twist, that's good. Here's another option. Keep your shoulders down. Lift your legs up, knees over your hips. Drive through the heels and ride a recumbent bicycle. Put it all together if you like. Riding that recumbent bike, peel the shoulders up and then elbow toward opposite knee. Breathe, breathe, breathe. One more variation. Legs straighten and you scissor kick them. Bring one heel down to the earth, then the other heel down to the earth. Breathe, breathe, breathe. How are you doing? Let's finish our bicycle pose. Legs go long, arms go high overhead. Look like a big number 1. Stretch through your fingers, stretch through your toes. Can you feel it in your hips? Stretch, lengthen. Find your strap. Let's use the strap for boat pose today. Bring the strap under the centers of your feet. All right, strap is under the center of the feet. Hold on to the strap like reins of a horse. Peel your body on up. Come on up, heels come down. Come on up, bring the shoulders. Come into your boat pose. For your boat pose, here's what you want to do. Hug the elbows in. Pull that strap back. Draw the toes toward the shin. Little bend in the knees, maybe. Your back, don't round it. Lift through the chest. Lift and hold here. So you're sitting like you're seated in a recliner. So lean back a little bit more. Find where your core, your belly engages and holds you here. You got the strap to help too. Breathe. Lift through the chest. Hold it here. This is your boat pose today. Tomorrow we'll do boat pose a little differently. Every day our practices are different. Come check them out. You may think, oh, that practice is too hard, or oh, that practice is too easy. You make it work for you. You make it work for you, and it will work for you. Trust me, and you can do every single practice. Hold here in your boat. Let it be. What do you think? Lean back a little bit more. Hold it. Put a little bend in your knees. See how that changes things. Chest stays lifted. Elbows stay hugged in. Breathe. You got it. Let's finish. Bring your heels on down. Just take a little forward fold here because everything's in place, so why not? Hold on to the strap, work your hands down the strap, look down to your knees, just a little fold here. Think of folding your body in half. Work your chin or your forehead towards your knees. Put a little bend in your knees if that feels good. And then finish. Remove the strap. Let's do our lunges. Those are one of my favorites. Come on up to standing on your knees. Here's where you use the blocks. Bring the ground up to you with the blocks by your side. We're going to bring the right leg forward, ankle under the knee to begin. Left leg, we want to send it long. So if you don't have the blocks, you could put your hands on the mat and just send the left leg long. Blocks make it a little more accessible. And send the left leg long. You can slip the towel under your left knee if that feels better. Top of the left foot onto the mat. Now you're going to feel a nice big stretch in your left hip flexor. Hands can stay on the blocks. You can imagine lengthening through the crown of your head. Breathe. Breathe. Find length. Imagine somebody coming along and very nicely, kindly, gently giving your left ankle a tug so that leg is even longer. Breathe here. Now you can take your hands off of the blocks. Bring your shoulders up over your hips. How is that? We all have really tight hip flexors because we sit so much. We don't stretch them like this very often, except in your yoga. That's why you come to yoga every day, right? So stretch it out. How does it feel? Maybe hands on your hips, drive the elbows back. Look up, up, up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Look high overhead. How does that feel? Maybe release your arms, send them up to the sky. Think of your thumbs going to the back wall. Breathe. You don't have to be doing any of this. You could have your hands on your blocks. That's totally fine. Breathe. Now bring your hands back down to your blocks if they're not already there. Let's surf it out. This is fun. All you're going to do is think about your right leg. Straighten the right leg, sending your hips back. Walk with the blocks, back, back, back. Your bottom, it can sit on your left heel. How is that? Does that feel all right? Right toes up to the sky. And then surf it. Bring it forward. This time, let the right knee come past the ankle. You've got the blocks, you're pushing into them. Imagine you're surfing. Go forward, look forward. You got it. Look forward to good things. Look forward to more movement in your body as you surf it out to the fullest range of motion that works for you. Perhaps no blocks at all. As you engage your strong core, lift on up, surf it out, maybe reach forward, surf it on back. You don't have to sit on the heel. You decide how far you want to take it. Pretty good, huh? How do you feel? Let's switch it out. Right knee meets left. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Left foot forward, knee over ankle, blocks by your side. Right leg goes long. Reach those toes toward the back of your mat. Feel the lengthening in the right hip flexor. It doesn't get this kind of loving very often. I mean, really think about it. When do you stretch like this? Not very often. And you need to. You need to. All right, press into your blocks. You're looking down to your left toes. Breathe. Let it be. You know, you can always take your hands off of the blocks and look forward. Put your hands on your hips if you want. Squeeze the elbows back. Chest is lifted. Maybe look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look even higher. Maybe add in the arms, sending them high to the sky. Maybe driving the arms more to the back of the room. Maybe hands back to prayer center. Hang out where you want to be. Hang out where it feels best. I'm going to start to surf it out now. Hi, Tammy. I'm glad you're here. I hope Max is here too. I've missed you. All right, let's straighten the left leg and start to surf it out. You know, you take it as far as the surfing is right for you today. Don't feel pressure, self-imposed pressure to perform. You move to what feels good for you, and only that. You don't have to do any of it. You do what feels right and good for the one and only you. You know, do a little less so you can come back and do more another day. If you hurt yourself, you're out of luck. You gotta recover, right? Breathe. Surf it out. Maybe you reach it out. How are you doing? Nobody ever comes to yoga and says, oh, I wish I hadn't done it. The hard part's just getting to your mat. So if you're here and you're still in child's pose, good on you. It's all good. All right, you've surfed it out. Let's come back to standing on both knees. Let's go in to a downward facing dog as we come into a little bit of balancing, because balancing is so important. So for your down dog, come to your neutral tabletop. Remember this one? Fingers spread wide. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Send your hips high up to the sky. So straighten your legs. Tailbone lifts to the sky. You're looking back at your feet. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Heels, get them slightly elevated. Adjust your stance. Everybody's height and leg length is different, so adjust your stance so your heels are slightly lifted, about 4 inches above the earth. Hands, look at them. They should be spread wide, shoulder width distance. Now your neck. Let your neck hang heavy and let it be loose. Shake it out. Look back to your ankles or even to your knees. Shake it out, or let the head hang so heavy you're looking back to your belly button. Push your hands hard into the earth. Pedal your feet. One heel closer to the earth than the other. Stretch your calves. Real important to stretch, especially after you go for a long walk. When you come home, stretch your calves out. Take a down dog. Or push the ball of your foot into the wall and stretch out your calves. Real important. All right, so you're pedaling it out in your down dog. Shake your neck. Neck decompresses. Tailbone, send it higher to the sky. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Finish. Still your heels. Still your heels. Still your heels. Let them stretch toward the earth. Shake your neck. Walk your feet up to meet your hands, or your hands back to meet your feet. And come on up to standing. Sweep your arms off to the side. Press on up into your extended mountain pose. Lift here. Soften in your shoulders. How are you doing? Let's do, you will look taller to begin with. All right, first letter of each word. Bring your arms into the shape of the letter Y. All right, I'm going to bring my legs together, zipping up my legs, big toes touching, Body like the letter Y for the word you. Press the backs of the hands to the back of the room. That's the ticket. Pressing the backs of the hands to the back of the room. Big letter Y, big letter W. Press your elbows down toward the earth. There you go. Big letter L, hug the elbows in, and L forward and backwards. Squeeze the spine together, and then tee out your arms and pulse. How are you doing there? Let's do it again. All right, this shirt's kind of wonky. All right, there we go. All right, lift your arms high up to the sky. Bring your body into the shape of the letter Y. Spread your fingers super wide. Big letter W, elbows really weighted. Big letters L, forward and backward. Big letter T, pulse it out. Now finish, arms down by your sides. Close your eyes, feel how you feel. Don't you feel tall? Don't you feel your shoulders over your hips, chest is lifted. Your posture is nice and good and straight and tall and lengthened. Shoulders are back, crown of the head lifts to the sky. Good posture you have, yes you do. Thanks to your you will look taller pose. All right, we said we do half crescent moon. Let's do that now. Arms lift, palms touch, reach through your fingers. Have one thumb cross over the other. Lift. Breathe. Your biceps are hugged in by your ears. Half crescent moon. Bring your body into a moon shape. I'm going to let my fingers fall to the left side of my body. Chin away from the chest. Weight equal in both feet. Feel the good stretch. Up, up, up. The whole side of the right side of the body. Breathe. When you're ready, come on back up to center. Lengthen up. Do it again on the other side. Let the fingers go toward the right side. Chin away from your chest. Shoulders both back, equal distance to the front of your room. Find length and stretch it out in that whole left side of your body. Stretch, reach, lengthen. Slowly bring it on back up to center as you inhale. Let's do it again with a little variation. Lengthen up. Sigh it out. Let the fingers go to the left side of your room. This time, take your left hand, the one on the bottom, grab the right wrist and give it a pull, pull, pull. Weight equal in the feet, top shoulder back. Breathe, chin away from the chest. Breathe, reach the fingers a little farther. You got it. Exhale, palms touch. As you slowly inhale, bring it on back up to center. Lengthen up one more time. Let's take it to the other side. Root it equally into the feet. Start to bend. Bring the fingers to the right side. Stretch and reach to the fingers as far as is right for you. Maybe you take the right hand, capture the left wrist, and pull, pull. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder back a teeny bit more. Soften in the glutes. Feel the big stretch. You're meant to move this way. Slowly bring it on back up to center. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. How does that feel? Let's do tree. Hands to prayer center. Bend in the right knee. So root into your left foot. Let the weight come out of the other. Open up the bent knee to the side of the room. Maybe you balance on the toes or the ball of the foot. Maybe the right heel is on the inside of the left ankle. Maybe you've got a chair right here. It's all good. Find your balance. Hips, get them equal distant to the front of the room. Don't have a turn in the hips. Lengthen up. When you're ready, maybe slip the foot a little bit higher. Find your balance here. Just don't put the foot onto the knee. Knees aren't meant to bend sideways. You know that's wrong. It just doesn't feel right. Bring the foot to whatever height feels good for you. Push the foot into the leg into the foot. Bent knee drives to the back of the room. Maybe you keep your hands on your hips. Maybe you like that today. An option is to grow your branches, or you can keep your hands at prayer center. So many choices. Do it. You could have a hand on a chair. Sway your branches if you like. Look to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe try to take a good blink here, a good long blink, trying to close the eyes and find your balance. It's hard. Closing the eyes changes the game, doesn't it? But try. It's a challenge. Try the challenge. A little bit of a blink or a lot of bit of a blink. You do what you can do. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the right foot next to the left. That side is done. Hooray, hooray. Another side. Regroup. Root into the right foot. Open up the left one. Open it up. Place it. Remember, all different ways. Where do you want to put it? Use the chair. Don't use the chair. You decide. But just try something a little different. Challenge yourself. Check out your hips. Are they equidistant to the front of the room? Your foot is solid. Think of a tree, how it roots into the ground. Roots into the ground so it's nice and strong and stable, just like your foot is now. But the branches also sway to keep the tree from falling over. So you can have your hands at prayer center. Raise and grow your branches and sway them. Find your balance. And this is a challenge, isn't it? If you really think about what's going on, it's pretty incredible. Rooting into one foot, all those little micro wiggles in that one foundational foot. Arms are moving to throw you off balance a little bit. Then make it even harder. Throw in the closing of the eyes. Gaze up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Little blink or a long blink. Try it. And if you fall out, no big deal. Get right back in. Game's not over. Get back in. Finish up. Hands to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the left foot next to the right. That is done. What'd you think? Let's do a toppling tree. Hands, bring them behind your low back. Interlace your fingers and send your fingers way down toward the earth. Feel that in your shoulders. Open up through your shoulders. Take a big step out with your right foot. With that big right foot. Hinge forward. Put the weight into the right leg and put a bend in your right knee. Lift the back leg up a little bit. Now work the interlaced fingers off of your low back. Send your gaze down to the mat or to your right toes. Send the left leg up higher, as high as you like. Send the arms up toward the sky. Micro wiggles in that foot and look at them. Woo, balance. And then finish. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Hands back to your low back. Lengthen up to the crown of your head. Drive your shoulders back. Drive the fingers toward the earth. Let's do it again on the other side. Left leg steps forward or right leg steps back. Same difference, right? And then hinge the weight into your left leg. Little bend in the leg. Hinge forward, looking down to your mat or your toes or your ankle or your knee. If you fall out, who cares? Nobody's keeping a report card, especially you. Don't count the fails, count the successes. Lift the leg up, arms go higher, breathe. And then finish, right leg meets left. Arms, release them by your side. Arms down by your sides. Let it go. Straighten up. Big breath in. Big breath out. How do you feel? Don't you feel stronger already? Let's do a couple things on our belly. All right, so hinge forward. Fold in half. Look back to your knees. Little bend in your knees. Hands to your calves. Breathe. Elbows hugged in. Breathe. Let's do another plank, or just a quick little plank. Walk your hands out onto your mat. Knees are bent. Hover your knees above the mat in a bear plank. So shift your weight forward so your arms are good and strong here. Knees are above the mat. Hold here. This is your bear plank. Hold it. It's coming up on time for the bears to hibernate here in Colorado. That'll be kind of nice. Then we can bring the bird feeders out. All right. Breathe. Finish. Come on down. Let's walk our hands forward and come down to your belly. Come all the way down to your belly. That feels good, doesn't it? And let's do cobra pose. For your cobra pose, let's do it with the elbows underneath your shoulders. Forearms on your mat, fingers spread wide. Gaze down your nose. Gaze down your nose. This is really a sphinx pose. Zip your legs up. Push the tops of your feet into the mat and gaze down your nose. This is a sphinx pose with a little bit of a cobra variation. Let's bring our gaze down to the center of your mat. Neck is long, crown of the head lengthening to the top of your mat. Slip your hands about 10 inches down so they're under your collarbones. Hold them here, hug your elbows in, zip your legs up, gaze down your nose, and then lift out of the chest. Lift out of the chest, bringing your chest up a little higher. Push into the mat with your fingers. Breathe. Hold it here. Breathe. Now maybe pop the weight up into your fingers. Breathe. Maybe no weight in your hands at all. Breathe. And then come on down. Come on down, arms down by your sides. Turn your head. So maybe your left cheek is on the mat, or your left ear is on the mat. Breathe. Bring your head back to the midline. Bring your arms forward. Forearms press into the mat. Come back to your Sphinx pose. Elbows under your shoulders. Hands spread wide. Gaze down your nose. Zip your legs up. Gaze down your nose. Push into the earth. Hold here. Breathe. Breathe. Same thing. Let's bring our gaze down to the mat. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Slip your hands down under your shoulders so your head comes closer to the mat. Hold it here. Squeeze the elbows in. Send your gaze forward as you lift a little bit here in your cobra pose. Hands are on your mat, elbows hugged in. Breathe. Maybe press up to your fingertips. That's a maybe. You don't have to. Breathe. Maybe weight out of your hands. Breathe. Hold it. And then finish. Hands come down. Cheek comes down. Turn your head so your right cheek, right ear is on the mat. Arms down by your sides. With your shoulders really away from your ears. Breathe. Breathe. Chin back to the center of your mat. Hands underneath your collarbones, seal pose. Straighten your elbows, straighten up, press on up. Now soften in your glutes to create some space there. Think of your hips expanding to the side of the room in your seal pose. Let's come to standing on your knees and take a gentle camel pose. Stand on your knees, hands to your low back, elbows squeeze towards your spine. Push your hips forward, kind of like how we began. Remember how we began in our warm-up? Push your hips forward. An alternative here, fingers can be pointing down, or flip them so your fingers are pointing up and kind of get them in that little crease of your back where the bend is. Push your hips forward, elbows in, and look up above you. Breathe. You got it. Nothing big. Tomorrow we'll do a full camel if you want to. That's the ticket, if you want to. Breathe. Let's finish. Come back. Have a seat on your heels for just a second. So seat on your heels, stretch out the quads. This is called Thunderbolt pose. Maybe have a drink of water. Then we're going to do a couple little things on our back and call it quits. We're not done yet. Get back in your bed. Good girl, good girl. All right, come on down. Come on down to your back. Remember how we did this when we did our Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups? Let's kind of do that again. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Grab your ankles and hike your heels on up towards your groin. Hike them on up, hike them on up, hike them on up. And then let your knees fall down. How does that feel? Keep your back nice and straight. How does that feel? Stretch it out. Stretch it out. What do you think of that, huh? All right, and when you're ready, let's come to recline. Come to recline. Oh, they think we're done. All right, come down to recline. Keep your knees spread open, wide. How does that feel? Tee out your arms. Tee out your arms and breathe. Palms face up. Bring your knees together to touch. As your knees come together to touch, walk your feet out a little bit so your feet, your knees, and your hips are in one straight line. Press into your feet. Send your hips high for a little bit of a bridge pose. Hold it here, arms teed out, or if you feel more comfortable, bring them down by your side. But we're not going to stay here long. Just stretch it out. Roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Bring your tailbone down last. Let your knees, bring your feet, toe heel your feet to the edges of your mat. So you can kind of feel the edge of your mat. Let your knees fall to one side, and then let the knees fall to the other side. And as your knees go to one side, send your gaze in the opposite direction. As you inhale, knees come up. Let them fall to one side, and you gaze to the other. Take a breath cycle here. Let's do it again. Gaze comes up, knees come up, let them fall to one side, and you gaze to the opposite side. Breath or two. One more time, knees come up, gaze goes up, let it fall to the other side. Finish up, knees come up to the sky, gaze comes up to the sky too. Toe heel your feet back in. Send your left leg long on your mat, drive through your left heel. Bend your right knee, hug the right knee in. You can use your strap or your towel. Towel kind of makes your arms a little bit longer. Hug in the knee, or interlace your fingers underneath the knee and hug it in. Hug it in, ball and socket in the hip. It's got a lot of movement in it. Let's use it, hug it in. Left heel is driving toward the bottom of the mat, hug it in. Release the right leg long onto the mat. Drag the left heel up, same thing, other side. Hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. Shoulders stay down, hug it in. Send the leg long on the mat. Let's do the right leg again. Bend the right knee, hug the right knee in, hug it in really tightly toward the center of your chest. Now imagine here, left leg is long, driving through the heel. Imagine this right leg. Imagine taking it out and around the hip and drawing the knee now up into the armpit. So think of the knee coming farther away from the body. Hug it in. Now with the right hand, let the right knee open toward the earth. Left arm can tee out as a counterbalance. Just open up that right leg. Bring it back to the midline. Hug it in like you normally do. And release it long on the mat. Right heel digs into the earth. Left heel drags up, hug it in. Hug the left knee in toward the midline like you normally do. Now using the left hand, think of this left knee coming almost out of the hip socket as you drive the knee up toward the armpit. Just a little different feeling. Maybe tee out the right arm, let it be. Now with the left hand, work the left knee open more toward the earth. Bring the knee back toward the midline. Hug it in with both hands. Let the left leg go, nice and long on the mat. One more time, drag the heels up toward the body. Hug the left knee with the left hand toward the left armpit. Right knee with the right hand toward the right armpit. Rock from side to side as you do your happy baby pose. So think of a happy baby in its crib holding on to its knees, or you grab your ankles or your feet. You decide. Hold on, maybe you straighten one leg, then the other, and move like a happy little baby in a crib. And then finish up, knees come back to the midline. Give them a nice tight squeeze, hug your elbows in, peel your shoulders up. Try to get your knees to meet your forehead, your lips, give your knees a kiss. And then send your legs long. Final shavasana. Grab your eye shade or your towel, or your eye shade or your towel, whichever. Cover the eyes. Legs go long, heels to the bottom of your mat. Arms down by your sides. Sigh it out, let it go. You moved a lot today. We really emphasized the full range of motion in many places, especially the hips and the shoulders today, and the low back. Good on you. You are stronger, you are more mobile, you are more flexible. You've got the mobility and the flexibility going on. Now it's time to let the computer of the head, let the brain absorb what you did. Find stillness here. Come back to just the deep breaths and let the body remember this last hour. Let the brain remember what you did. And it's telling itself, I can do this. I did it. I did it. And I'll do it again tomorrow. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. No thoughts, just peace and stillness permeating your body. Soften that area between your eyebrows. Let all the tension go there. Imagine your arms and legs super heavy. Deepen your cycles of breath. Stay here longer if this is speaking to your body. If it's time for you to conclude your hour, take a deep, refreshing breath in and a big sighing breath out. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Work the motion now up into your hands and your feet. Don't forget the wrists and the ankles. Circle them out, move them. Spread your fingers and toes super, super wide. Squeeze and scrunch your fingers and toes, and then let it all go. On an inhale, reach high overhead. Point your toes to the bottom of the mat and reach your fingers to the top. Stretch it out like it's your good morning stretch. Bend your knees and bend your elbows and come into a fetal position by rolling onto one hip or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Soften in the top shoulder. Eyes are closed. Savor a cycle of breath here. When you're ready, as you're ready, keep your eyes closed if you like. Press on up to a comfortable seated position. Whatever is comfortable for you right now. Bring your hands to prayer center, shoulders over your hips. Take a big inhale as you lengthen up through your spine. And as you take the big exhale, soften the shoulders and root into the earth beneath you. You're strong. The earth has you. Let it go. Blink your eyes, open. You did it. 1 hour. Goes by fast when you actually just do it, doesn't it? How do you feel? A lot of range of motion today. I hope you feel better. Remember, we are a work in progress, little by little, step by step, breath by breath, one day, one moment at a time. Just show up, but just do it. That's the big thing. All right, stress number, what was it? And what is it? A lot better, right? Remember that number and come back to your mat tomorrow. How do your shoulders feel? Mine feel great, and I hope you do too. All right, let's do it again tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good week. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Hey, you're a good girl. Hey, Bonnie, come here. Good girl. Bye. See you tomorrow. Show up. Bye. It's beginning to look a lot like a new year is right around the corner, and that's a good thing. And we all kind of reset our clocks when the new year starts, don't we? Let 2023 be the best year yet. And why not? Start by doing your yoga every single day. And you guys are still here. I'm so thankful for that. Do your yoga every day and tell your friends about our yoga too. It's free for anybody and everybody, and it works for any body and everybody because you modify it. So invite your friends, give them a wonderful gift this year. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's at www.316yoga.com. Stick with it. Don't give up, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. Do your yoga every single day and challenge yourself to do just a little bit more. See you on your mats tomorrow.